Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to go over the scoring and show you my team I'm going to use for this at the Crossroads World Event. Now, the scoring in this, there are 6 battles that you can encounter during this event: Venbarac, Rock Demon, Lamashtu, Baphomet, Infernal King, and the Archduke. The battles are entirely random, but they all have an equal chance of appearing on the map. Now, Venbarac is worth 5 bait, Rock Demon 6 bait, Lamashtu 6 bait, Baphomet 8 bait, Infernal King 8 bait, and the Archduke 10 bait. Each bait is worth 6 points, and the battles will drop a variable number of bait, on average about 1.18 times the base amount. It is as simple as that, so always go for the Archduke if you can, Infernal King, and then Baphomet. They are worth the most. Right, now onto my team for this, and first things first, always grab your rewards from the reward section. The reason is your guild may have started this before you, and as such will have gathered some tokens. In this case it's the arcane token. Collect 3 tokens of the same type to evolve it into a badge, and when you do that you are going to power up your team and get some bonus damage. Let's just get that orb first. You evolve the badge, arcane badge. As you can see, the badge, when it's evolved, does 40% spell damage for all troops in the current event. And when you get it upgraded to a medal, you get 160 spell damage for all troops in the current event. So better to do spell damage than skull damage in this to benefit from that medal. And on the tiers, of course, we have tier 1, where you get this lovely potion of enchantment. I'll absolutely always do that every single time at the start of every single world event. Really, really useful. Enchant all allies at the start of battle. Only applies to this event and gets used as soon as you start the battle. You don't have to actually activate it anywhere. It's done automatically. And you get other troops, arcane tokens, gold, event sigils, and more. Now, if you go further in the event, you obviously pick up more tokens and more troops and more goodies at the same time, as well as different potions. All very nice stuff indeed. But onto my team itself. Okay, got a nice little setup here. We've got the Archduke. We'll go for him first because he's worth 10 bait. Now, the team I've got here is a really nice hybrid team of really good skull damage and spell damage. We are going to benefit from that really nice medal we can pick up. In first place, we have Burning Scythe. I will show some different options, different troops, if you don't have the exact team I've got here as well. But the Burning Scythe, really good. Deals damage to all enemies, burns a random enemy, and diseases another. The traits are okay in this, but it's the Diabolist champion talent we're going to try and take advantage of in this team at the same time. This is a Daemon class, and all Daemons gain 1 attack. Chill of Death, when an enemy dies, frees another. Plague Bearer, disease a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. Disease is pretty handy. It actually halves the amount of mana the other team gets, so it really slows them down on what they can do regarding their spells. Spawn of Hell, a 50% chance to summon a Hell Spawn when an enemy dies. Life Siphon, steal 2 life from the first enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. Swift Curse, really handy. Death mark a random enemy at the start of battle, so the enemy could just die straight away, or one of them anyway. And Fireblade, this is what we're going to take advantage of in this hybrid style team. Deal a triple skull damage to burning enemies. So if we get burning, we can deal triple skull damage as well as get the enhanced damage from this medal at the same time. So we've got damage to all there, and this uses purple and red. Second place, we're going to have Indrajit. Deals different amount of damage based on your magic, boosted by red and purple, to 4 random enemies. So if you get either or of these charged up straight away, obviously it'll be Burning Scythe first because it is the same colours as Indrajit. Then you're going to start wiping out the enemy quite quickly, but it does have some handy traits at the same time. Curse and burn a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So you could get a 4 match and get that top troop burning really quickly and just get a skull match and start dishing out triple skull damage, as well as the extra damage you're going to get from the medal via spells. Venbarac, really, really cool. Deals magic-based damage to all enemies as well, but uses blue. So if you get blue, we can charge this up instead. And again, a 75% chance to disease all enemies, just slows down the enemy team on their mana collection. Really handy traits as well. Gain bonus purple mana from purple gem matches. We've got a lot of purple here, so really useful to have that extra purple. And in last place we have Barghast. Deals damage to an enemy and the enemy below. Burn and fairy fire them both. So this is really useful. If you got damage to 2 enemies, the burn again could inflict that burn on an enemy near the top. So when we start dishing out that skull damage, that's going to be triple skull damage to those burning enemies. If we don't have a decent color match, we can just collect a skull if it's there and get that awesome triple skull damage. And fairy fire them both as well is not to be underestimated. Fairy fire. A troop afflicted with fairy fire takes 50% extra damage from damaging spell effects, and there's a cumulative 10% chance to recover each turn. But the effect of fairy fire and the medal is absolutely insane. This is going to be like so much damage on the later levels if you need to dish out extra damage. As well as that, gain 1 magic for each red ally, and we have a few of those, and explode a red gem at the start of battle. Really handy, so we take full use of all those things. One other thing which is really cool about the weapon as well is in the upgrades. If you get this upgraded, you see flaming. Burn the first enemy. So if you unfortunate and don't get that burn going on the top enemy straight away, as soon as you cast this, the top enemy will be burnt, so you can benefit from that triple skull damage if some skulls come along and you fancy doing it that way. So it works really well, but other troops that would work really well if you don't have some of these, say Ven Barak, that's a legendary I think normally, so that's not straightforward to get. Another troop that would go really well with this if you didn't have Ven Barak, for example, would be Terexis. Barghast does that damage and uses red and brown. Terexis uses yellow, so it's different colours, but deals damage to all enemies as well and transforms blue to brown to boost the effect, which would charge up your Barghast, and that is another really cool way to go about it as well. Obviously, if you have certain mythic troops, they're going to be cool, like Lemagrim. It's going to be really good for this. Deals damage to all enemies, creates 9 purple, can self-charge, boosted by burning enemies. That's going to work really well. That you could have that in last place maybe. So yeah, different options. Lots of troops that do really good damage here, but I always try and do these teams no mythic. I can actually create a team that's much more powerful than this, does a lot more damage, but I try and think of the early players too, and just always try and do a no mythic team for the world event. Gets the old brain cells churning and see what I can come up with without using mythics. It's a lot more fun. I like it that way. The banner for this is going to be +2 red, +2 purple, -1 green, the crypt banner from Crypt Keepers. And like I say, Diabolist is the class. So let's dive into the world event and get this going. You always do that. Medal of Anu is handy for this because we don't have a 50% start on any of our troops. So I'll just pop it over to there, find the medal. Arcane badge, there it is, +40% spell damage for all troops. Thank you kindly. To battle. Again, if you don't have that burning scythe and you want another burning weapon, just put burn into the search bar when you're looking for weapons, see what you can come up with. Always looking for red, generally, but I'll click this. So we pick up the red at the same time. Damage to wall, obviously everyone's going to be like conking out straight away at first. I'll just do a few battles on this lower level, then I'll jump forward a bit and show how we use the team. Later on, as the enemy gets a bit harder, always pick the Archduke first if you can. For this, basically, you're picking the troops in the order of their ascension level. So you go for Mythics first, which are the teal colour. Then the Legendaries next, which are the orange colour, and so on and so on. Alright, so I'll just do this one here a couple of times, then I'll jump forward into some tougher levels. Potion of Enchantment means we're ready next round, which is cool. I'll collect these bits anyway, because it's all good. Baphomet and Infernal King are worth the same, so just any of those, if they come up, just grab them both. Either or, your choice. Worth the same amount of bait. So a nice quick charging team, does a lot of damage to all. Can get boosted by that medal if you get the enemies burning, you're going to be dishing out triple skull damage. Best of both worlds, really. Right, I'll make this the last one, then I'll pause the game, and we'll pause the video rather, and then jump forward and show how it works on later levels. Well, I've done a bit more, but the team is still flying along really nice. Haven't had to multicast anybody yet. Of course, whether you have to cast troops twice or not would depend on your magic level and things like that, but yeah, I mean, it's super straightforward, and that triple skull damage is actually coming really in handy sometimes when we get a situation like this. The troops aren't charged up yet. Well, the bottom one is, it could do that, but where that's the Val Raven, and as such, when you kill that thing before it flies away, you will get extra sigils, which means more battles. You can have this triple skull damage and say, mate, you're dead straight away. Thank you very much. So a really nice combination of extra damage because of the medal. Fairy Fire, we get that when we cast this troop as well, which does extra damage on top of the extra damage we get from the medal, as well as triple skull damage. So yeah, kind of the best of everything, really. They're not burning, so they would take normal damage. It's only 51 damage to me, I can accept that, so I'll cast that instead. Sometimes the AI would have chosen not to take that skull damage, you see, and then I could have hit them with that skull whack back, but it doesn't matter because we've just finished them off. So yeah, really cool team. It's only going to get stronger as the week goes on as well, because as you continue with this, your guild will continue with this. You will unlock more rewards, which include more arcane tokens. You will evolve that badge up to a medal and then do a whopping 160% spell damage. When you're playing this, you can actually just keep taking the lower level ones if you like. If you're a newer level player and you want to make it easier, you're still going to get the same amount of bait. You're still going to get the same amount of points. But I'm just doing the high level ones just to show the effect of the team as the battles get harder. Looking for red or purple, which are not there, so I'll take some blue instead. Nice little mana surge there. Can cast that first to get the top troop burning, so we do extra damage. Then you pick your poison on the next one. You're going to do a random amount of damage there to 4 enemies. That's guaranteed damage to all. This is damage to all with Fairy Fire, so I'll do that, because it might just well kill nearly everyone. Let's just let Indrajit go a bit mad. Nice easy team. Is that the right one? Yeah, all of these are worth the same points, I think so. Nice mix of skull damage and spell damage. Don't forget to collect your campaign tasks as you go along. Sometimes you can sit there, you've done a campaign task, you see that little notification pop up, and then you forget to collect it, and it's just been sitting there for absolutely yonks, and you haven't made any benefit towards the next one in line. So yeah, I'm just going to remember to do that as soon as I've finished off here. Don't want to spoil the flow of the video by going and getting that now. But let's do these last 2 sigils and call the video a day. And you know what that means. Yes, video, you're a day. I love how bad my jokes are. Oh, and while I think about it, I should have mentioned this earlier on in the video actually. Let me know in the comments if you think it's a good idea still if I do the new player series, because when I got the ban thing, I thought it might be a few weeks because I was expecting the devs to be away over Christmas. So I thought, well, I'm going to have like a few weeks here of literally not being able to do anything with this account, so I might as well start a new one and maybe show a new player account how you should do things from the get-go, best way to go about things like that. But obviously I got unbanned really quickly, and basically wondering whether to still do that or not. If you think it's a good idea, if you want to see that, I might do it for an hour a week, say just one long sort of video per week on the new player account. If you let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, then I would get it done. That is how most of my videos get born, basically, much to different people's certain opinion. Most videos are actually, the ideas are created from people actually saying to me, Rob, can you do a Soulforge video? It'd be really cool if you did. After a bit of, that a few times, I eventually do. Then I got asked 6, 7 times if I do a spoilers video. Before I decided, okay then, different people keep asking, enough people get asking, I will do it. That is how most videos come about. Believe it or not. Anyway, right, let's wrap this one up. Collect your rewards at the end when you're done, and come back the next day because you will be given more event sigils every day because this is a week-long event. Anyway, there's the team, there's the video. If you enjoyed it, why not bash that like and subscribe button, it really does help. But most of all, thank you for watching, have a great Boxing Day, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.